So welcome to the Node.js Next 10 meeting for April 17th, 2024. We'll follow our standard approach of
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we lost Michael.
Hello, everyone. We are still live.
Internet is still working, so it's okay. It's okay.
So
You
I
want to
guess
take it? Okay, yeah. You can take it from here, or if you want, I can start presenting the survey for
yeah.
2020.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the meeting again. Oh, any you are
You're
muted,
muted.
Michael.
sorry, I pressed the wrong button. So yeah, welcome everybody to the meeting. We'll go through our standard agenda, which was in issue 264. Before we jump into that, are there any announcements that people would like to share? Okay, if not, we agreed one of the sort of our top priority thing is finishing the discussion of the survey that we want to go out. So I will start with that one. And I think, Marco, you'd opened that issue. So why don't you take us through that and we'll, review and hopefully come to something which is our final version.
Okay, so I received quite a lot of feedback on the pull request for the survey. So today, what I would like to do is like give it a final review, change everything, and consider it like merge it, consider it done, so we can move forward. Because I think the survey is next week. Okay, so I will share my screen. Share screen. Where is it? Okay. Okay, so this is the pull request. 261. First question is, where are you from? With the country, I think this is the standard one, and I don't think there's any objection. And also, how long have you been working with Node.js? I think that's also no objection. I see that there is a comment from Jean on in what organization are you working in? Do we want to add like if it's a banking, healthcare, like which kind of company?
I think that would be quite interesting to me.
Yeah, like the main idea would be to add a secondary question. First one, in what kind of like the size or type of organization and what like sector your organization is working on. And I remember that because we discussed that a year ago with like during a next 10 meeting, at least you and me, Michael, on that, on, hey, it could be great to have some information if people that use Node.js are also able maybe to finance the project itself, if it's banking, insurance, or critical infrastructure that does have requirement on security and stuff like that.
Can we get a list of like sectors that I will add the question. So
Yep.
well, I will have it here. So let's say if you like if working in a company, in which sector does your company
I just did
operate?
a quick Google, and this came up on Wikipedia in terms of a standard list. I think it might be like the sector. I don't know if the sector would be enough.
I guess it would be
Like
in
healthcare. Well, actually, no, healthcare, financials, information technology. So maybe, and I think there's 11 there. So maybe that's
like
Enough. Okay, so I will wait. How
some
do I
of them are
grab this?
quite large, I think. Maybe like I'm not sure, but I think on one of the survey from the foundation, we had a list somewhere. Maybe Kylie don't have like, or someone from the foundation don't have that list.
Okay. Yeah, if we can get that list, it's like, or otherwise I will have to copy paste it. But I think this looks good enough.
What I'd say, maybe why don't we start, like, Marco, if you take that list, put it in the as a PR, like add it to the PR, but then ask Kylie, and like we could mention her and say, hey, you know, Jean seems to remember maybe we had like a better list in one of the earlier foundation surveys. If that's so, can we fill that in?
I will do. Okay, I will just add it as a comment and feel free to improve the wording because my English is not the best.
Jean, in
But
terms
yeah,
of ones that are missing,
So
like, or so go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, so for me, I think one should be like government related stuff. And the two for me that are strange is consumer discretionary and consumer staples, which even if I do understand that, it's like, I guess for quite a lot of people, it won't really be, they won't know that.
Right. Okay.
That would be
okay,
the
yeah, this
main
is
one. Like industrial is okay, energy is okay, material, you can put pretty much everything inside, but that's good. Healthcare, financial, information technology, communication services, utility, real estate. Why? Yeah, why not? But like the two consumer related seems strange to me.
So why don't we take those two out? Because I kind of agree that they're might be tougher. Although I think, yeah, people like either we might need to break it out or people won't know. So we could take those two out and we could add government to start with. Because that does
okay.
seem like that seems like something missing to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
that
it
could be
makes
a
sense to
starting
me.
point. Somebody find a better list, great, and we should ask Kylie, but
So I will add comments on the PR and then I will work it, do it offline and update it and ask for your review so we can like merge it and like move
So
on.
I just, so it's not perfect. I have another list here.
Okay.
Like maybe we can remove some of them, like education. Even technically, you can have industry in the education sector. So makes sense maybe
Yeah,
to
I
keep it.
think that education is important because there are a lot of companies that do also
Yeah.
provide like education, like boot camp, this kind of stuff, where they sell online content, educational content. So I think that's important to keep. Okay, I think this one we can work it offline. I believe like to work on the list, but I think we all agree that this is a good question to know in which sector does the company operate. Okay, so to move forward, uh, which groups do you identify with? Multiple choice. We have direct end user, application operators, users who interact with existing. Yeah, I see your comment. I don't know the difference between
I think I mean,
application.
this is from the list we generated in terms of the constituents.
Yeah.
And you're saying between application operators and
Yeah.
developers?
No, the two first, direct end user and application operator. For me,
Oh,
they are like, I remember we had this discussion like 2 or 3 years ago, and we had a good point and discussion on why we wanted both. But now, a few years later, I'm like, when I'm reading the description, I'm like, maybe a lot of people will understand that as the same.
like direct end users, I think like, hey, I run it locally on my machine. Application operators, like that, what seems strange to me is that description. Or like operation, let's Is that actually what's in our description of our other docs? Because like I think of that one as like, hey, I operate a Node.js application. Right? And so let's see if that's
And also there is the one below that's application developers, which
right.
like,
That's somebody who actually develops the applications for people, right?
and what's
Like,
the difference between end users and application developers?
so I run them locally. I run the application myself, right? Like, so somebody's developed it. Somebody says, hey, here's your application. You can go and run it. And you all you do is run it. You're not actually building the thing. You're more of like, so like if you think in the business, like in a business, somebody says, hey, I have these requirements. Somebody does some the application developers actually develop something and give it to the people who then run it. And day to day as like a business user, you run that application to do something for you. Now, developers could in fact run things themselves as well, but they're acting kind of they're acting in a different role when they're doing that versus when they're developing the thing in the first place.
Like I feel these two overlap. Like I don't know the difference between those two groups, to be honest. Direct end users and application operator side.
This is what we have as the description of application operators.
Like as a direct users, you interact with existing running application if you're an end user.
I think if you look here, that was the descriptions that we had.
Okay, list of constituencies.
So like direct end users, we basically like it's clarified, like you install Node, you deal with the errors, like you're writing scripts and stuff like that. So you're actually using Node yourself and running tools. The application operators one was intended to try and capture like somebody operates a service. So like you're a service or infrastructure provider. So like you're going to run these things. And I guess we included that people who interact with that existing running application versus the person who, that seems slightly confusing to me.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah,
we
I
changed
do
our
agree.
description of the survey to be application operators and just included that second bullet of service and infrastructure providers, then I think that would be clear from the survey perspective. And we can go back and we, maybe update. I can't remember why we ended up with that users who interact. It is a kind of different user. Like I'm a user who's not installing scripts, but I think we could do some work to clarify that differences, right?
I think, like, I'm trying to find from memory that we wanted a two category to differentiate people that are running the application, able to debug, change the code and everything, and people that are just running the application without even knowing it's Node.js or everything. And I think
Yeah.
one of the sub-discussion was like, we want to provide, for example, error that people can easily share with other people. So in the two category of people and stuff. I think it was something close to that.
So
But
I would say that either if you are a Node.js developer, then you actually like front-end tool consumer, like application developer and application operators, they do kind of overlap. Because if you're a Node.js developer, it means that you develop using Node.js. You develop in Node.js itself, you write code that writes in Node, and then you are a developer. If you are just a user of tools that you have not written yourself, then you are like either a direct user or someone interfacing with an application written in Node, but you're not actually writing stuff in Node
Right. The
itself.
direct end
So,
users, the first one is what you just described. Like I install some things that might include installing Node and I run the tool. So like somebody said, hey, you need to install this and then you run this, right? And like you just follow the instructions and then you run sort of the business stuff. And that's why that's different from developers who may install Node, but then they will actually be writing things and interacting with the front end tools. Like, well, we've got that whole sort of list in there, right?
Yeah.
I think this list is still good. We used it last year, but I think like for the survey, the improvement we can do is for application operators is to actually, we could make it just service and infrastructure providers, or we could make it service and infrastructure providers or users who,
Like,
yeah, I think I would just do that for this survey and say like, okay, application operators, the way we've titled that sounds like people who run these things, not the users who are using it.
Yes, exactly.
but I'm even wondering, do we want to, just for the survey, do we want to keep that line? Because I'm guessing people that create and maintain a provider will be also application developer.
I don't think so. Like, I think there's people who operate
Okay.
the systems, right? And like typically you have a development team, they develop it, and then somebody else actually is the people who operate it day to day. And that's the people where like they'll have different concerns. They're the ones who are like, I need logging, I need traceability. The developers sometimes are like, I don't care about that stuff, but like they should. And I think it
Okay,
kind
so
of maps. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, sorry. No, I just propose to keep it as service and infrastructure provider, so we know it's someone that works with Node in terms of like run something
Yeah.
Node related. Like I don't know, I provide hosting for Node.js application. Let's say, okay, then I'm application operator, but I do not write code
Yeah.
in Node. Direct end user is someone who runs the script and like is user, and then we have application developer is the one who actually writes the Node Node code, and so I think this clarifies the problem. So
I think
I
that's
will.
the best bet, and I think we should start another effort to go back and look at our constituencies and fix
Yeah.
the description of that section. Like we might decide to change the constituencies there and everything, but like we want the survey to be consistent with the top level sections.
Okay, so yeah, let's note that into the agenda, and I can volunteer to open a PR to change the
Okay.
constituency.
I will copy a link and I'll put in there that we had some discussion about issues with application operators, raters. Description in blah should you follow. Okay, sorry, keep on going.
So next question is, are you part of a group not covered? If yes, which one? I think that's okay. I think, what is your use case of Node? I think this is the same as the one before. So like, if you are an application developer, your use case is develop application, and which sector, you already answered the question before. So I don't know, this one seems a
I
bit
think let's look
redundant
at
to
what
me.
the answers we got to that last, because I kind of saw that one as like, okay, more specific. I'm building a credit card processing service in the financial, but let's see.
Let's see.
We can find we'll open up last term survey and see what kind of stuff we got and was it useful or not.
Open-ended
Yeah,
answer, I
should be
think.
in there, yeah.
And is what is your use case of Node.js? Oh, I cannot. What is your automation, Azure function, bot script, CLI tool? Okay, this seems useful. Okay. But it really adds anything more than are you like, if I know
That's
that
what
you
I'm
are a
trying to
library
think,
and
looking at
packaging,
that list, like, did we get
web scraping, CLI, CLI.
Do we have anywhere else where we talk about like, do you use it for microservices, front end?
I don't think so.
Oh, wait. What type of organization do you work with?
Yeah, this one was an open question last year.
Okay, yeah, okay. This is okay. It's better. Like it's better if we can reduce the scope of open questions to
Yeah.
bullet points. Okay. Okay, this was useless, so we removed it.
But I guess, yeah, back to that other question. Do we think we should keep it or just take it out? This is the one, right? Yeah, the use case.
Wait, let's see. I think this might overlap with also technical priorities. Like obviously, if you are a CLI developer, then you prioritize something. Then I don't know. Probably I would keep it because the answer are good enough.
This is, I just did a quick search again, like top use cases for Node.js. Common use, I'm just searching.
So we can transform it into a bullet point.
That's what I'm kind of wondering. Like, would it be better if we gave, like, the open-ended one is sort of like the answers we got didn't really give as much as like maybe providing this set and then we could have an other, right? Or
yeah, I think we can change it to a bullet point. We can take the answers
actually,
for the
a
previous
nice
one.
I just had like
Like-
backend servers, microservices, development of APIs, front end, script and automation.
Yeah, we can take like testing, developer CLI tools. This is CLI tools, serverless. I don't know if serverless, it's actually like
Yeah, no,
serverless.
serverless is good. So yeah, I think like we can take some of these lists and make like an overall one would be good.
Okay, change to bullet point considering the answers from here, and I'll link it. Like CLI tools, testing, etc. We'll do this as today.
Yeah, now if we want to close out, I don't know if it would make sense for us to come up with an initial list. Like we still have a bit of time, so it might be worth to actually build our first version of the list.
We can take those ones.
So like I think CLI tools testing is good. Microservices I would add.
Yeah, I think microservice serverless also, even if it's like just for the sake of the technology part.
Front end, we have like script and automation. We say like bots.
Yep.
Bots.
I don't know if microservices is different from API development.
I guess microservices is for API.
Yeah.
Like it depends
like,
to split. I guess we can use API or we can put microservices, monolith API, serverless technology, depending how we want to split it. Is it just for API or do we want to be a bit more precise to have information on how many, if people are mostly using Node.js for serverless or how on a more granular way?
Because I guess microservices is really, and even serverless is a little bit more of a implementation versus what you're trying to achieve, right?
Exactly.
Like APIs.
So yes, but I guess you also have like
also microservices. It's a way of deploying API, like it's an architectural thing.
True, but yeah. I think it's like, I don't know for you, but for me, it would be a nice feedback from users, just because if 95% of the people are using serverless technology, then maybe we will want to be more focused on like cold start performance or being able to start faster something. Whereas for most of the time, microservices are long-lived application where the cold start can be, if it's 1 second, it's 1 second or two, we care a lot less.
The only issue I see is that serverless application use actually Node.js itself, or they use like a tweaked version of Node with stuff that's changed. So that's relevant because like if they use their own version of whatever, like
Yep.
why should we care about?
There's certainly serverless offerings that use just base Node.
Yep.
One suggestion might be is like development of APIs with microservices, development of APIs with serverless,
Yep.
development of APIs other. Like
Yeah,
maybe
true.
that's one way to get both bits of information.
We can do like this. Development of API, we want to say microservices.
And then I was just thinking like other, maybe there's some other.
And what
like-
about backend and servers?
Then I think we can remove it if we have microservices, serverless, and other, I guess.
Yeah.
Microservices and also monoliths.
Well, I
Yep.
would put that as, I was gonna say, just put it in like, put a third one, which is other, and that might include monolith or whatever else, right?
Okay.
Right.
Front-end tools. Okay, so do we want to add anything else? Let's see. Serverless, small tools. So a lot of solving .NET Pro, CLI.
Automation might be
I wrote it here. Script and automation, bots, scrapers.
okay, sure, yeah, okay.
Do we want to add infrastructure? Like I'm thinking about the AWS CDK or CDK for Terraform.
Oh, sorry, I didn't
Like
get
infrastructure, yeah, infrastructure as code. Like since now you have the CDKTF from AWS, CDKTF from HashiCorp for Terraform. That is just a wrapper in TypeScript, but it's using Node.js behind. And you also have the CDK from AWS. So
okay. What is called? Oh,
CDK.
okay.
AWS CDK and CDKTF. It will be the main the biggest one, I think.
But even if we know that a lot of people use this stuff, like we know that they use them for AWS CDK or whatever, like
Yeah.
how is that information useful compared to know that people like if we know that they use CLI tools, then we can make the like we can improve some stuff. But if it's for infrastructure, what are we really talking about? Like it's not just script and automation.
Like this one would be a mix between CLI tool and script, I'm guessing. Because like
would it be infrastructure management of what you're trying to get at?
yeah, like I was
But I
thinking
guess you're
about
right that it is kind of like scripting and possibly.
yeah, like it's mixed between both because it's more complex, I don't know. Like it tried to be a lot now it's trying to evolve to be a lot more standardized and to provide information using Node.js as a tooling or a way to build your infrastructure. And whereas CLI tool, I'm guessing most of the people will focus on, hey, I want to be able to get or read information from the user input and stuff like that. Whereas for the infrastructure, it will be more, it's a mix of both, I guess. So maybe it can be removed. Yeah, true.
I would remove it too.
Yeah, I would rename the front end tools one to something like
Complex SPA.
front end tools or
Huh? Sorry?
running front end tools or
Hmm.
building front end applications, building front end applications.
Okay.
Does that sound better to everybody? Like,
Okay.
yeah.
On serverless and on microservices.
I'm not sure it's
Feel
on,
free.
maybe with instead of on.
Okay. With. other. Okay. Feel free to correct, have a, like maybe Michael, that you're a native speaker, you want to fix the grammar.
Sure, I'm looking
But
like,
I've,
okay, by tool.
what about complex single page application? Isn't that building front-end application?
I think like maybe there is slightly kind of like two slightly different categories. There's one where basically you're using Node in the build stage where you're going to end up with like a static site. And then there's another one where you have Node running in the background, like
Next.
interacting. Yeah, like Next would be a little bit versus, and even Next in some case, like it depends on your app, but like a Next app where you just say, give me static pages, kind of you're just using Node in the build step, whereas in the other one, you're using it when the front end application is running, right? Like, and you're connected, like
Okay.
the SBAs is typically you're like connected with sockets and you got back and forth.
I want to add proxy here because a lot of people use Node.js as proxy. So I think, and we had some discussion in TSC, I remember, with proxy.
Maybe it would be like building static front end applications.
Okay.
Like
serving,
Yeah.
static. Doing like serving static files, something like that.
Yeah, well, that's one like I think that's good to ask, but like a lot of people, we would say don't use Node for that, right? Use something else. But that's a good question. Like, because I bet.
Let's see what we got here. We got blah 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 standalone, custom backend APIs, but because framework like Next, I don't like use it. Okay, so this one probably this is related. And testing, CLI tools, blah blah blah, bots, automation. So
Well, let's see. Client tool testing development. Should probably be development of APIs with an S on the end of each of those.
you mean
Yep.
like this?
Yeah.
Or maybe here we can have like as backend for like, I don't know. I want to cover Next.js basically. I want to know if people use Next.js or do this kind of
Server
SSR
side.
thing.
I think you can put
Yeah.
server side, like you can put
Server side
rendering. I'm guessing if you put server side rendering, people will understand it. You can put remix, for example, as a second example too.
Okay.
And maybe like just another one, which would be like building front end applications, maybe like deploying front end applications.
Examples?
Oh, you mean like embedding your front-end application being served with a templating engine by a Node.js technology?
Well, for example, with Next.js, you can actually like run it on Node, like you're deploying with Node as the thing that runs the front end application.
But
And it
it would
gives
be
you like the microservices you need. It gives you the front end components that, you know.
Yeah, it's probably SSR.
It may like SSR could be one of the subcategories of like you can, in my mind, there's two models for front end applications. One is like you end up using Node and all the tools to build a static set of pages, and then you deploy those static pages with something like Nginx.
Okay.
The other model is you build your front end application, probably still using Node.js, but then you actually deploy your application running Node.js as well. And that front end application may consist of, you know, some services, it may be doing SSR, but it uses Node at like when you're running it, not just in the build step.
So can we keep it like this? So we have deploying front end application in Next and Remix and
maybe etc. Like Remix, comma, etc. I think, yeah, I'd be good with
And
that.
multiple, so if multiple separate, no, we want multiple choice.
Yeah, I think it would be multiple.
Okay, I will put it here. Okay, I think this is good enough.
Do we want it still in other, which is like,
Yeah,
we can still have like other
we
with a
keep
write
other.
in.
Open, okay, and then we add other with open question.
Yeah, because I think that'll be good. That'll probably get us some more like we'll get like some specific info, which is good. It's driven by like what answers we got before, but if we've missed some, we'll see what people write in that they don't think fits into any of these.
Okay. Yeah, I think this
Okay,
is
that's good.
good. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Then we have what is your operating system for local development? Linux, Windows, macOS, other. Do we want to add Docker, like, or anything else?
Do we have Docker anywhere else?
No.
I wonder, it would be interesting. Yeah, it's kind of like a different question because you can use Docker on any one of those. So this is more about like, if I'm a developer, what am I likely to be
Running on Docker.
Yeah. Like I'm like, do I have a Linux stuff? Like, do we care about actual support on these? But you're right that Docker is related. If I'm running on Linux on Windows, but I always run in Docker with a Linux container, then like Node doesn't necessarily have to run on Windows, right? But
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't want to lose this mix. Do we have anywhere that asks, we talk about architectures?
Yeah.
We could have a question which is like, do you do your development natively, like on Windows, Linux, Mac OS, or in a Docker environment? Like that would be an interesting question to me.
Or we can add what is your operating system in which you're running Node.js in production, and we can add multiple questions and add Docker, so you can like tick Docker and something else.
How
Like
about
Docker
this
and
actually? How about if we go back to that other question,
yeah.
why don't we add a second set, which is like Linux, Windows, and Mac OS, but then we put a second set that covers those three again, but says with Docker. So we'll have like Linux, Windows, and Mac OS, and maybe we can say natively, and then we can have Linux, Windows, and Mac OS with Docker. Would that get us what we think is interesting?
I'm not sure I like what would be the question.
So just take those three, make a copy of Linux, Windows, and Mac. So add in another copy of those. And then after each of them, the second copy, just change it to like Linux with Windows. Or sorry, Linux with Docker, Windows with Docker, Mac OS with Docker.
Okay, so wait.
So we end up with like you can just choose Windows, Windows, Linux, or Mac, and then or you can choose Linux, Windows, or Mac with Docker.
Okay, so I can just add like blah blah blah. Add options like this.
Exactly.
Okay, we can do this.
Like I
Okay,
think
yeah,
that
this makes sense.
info.
Yeah.
And then we can like for total windows, we can add up the windows, or we can add it up how we want, but that doesn't answer it does not add another question, which is probably good, right?
Yeah,
So
and I would do the same here.
So for Windows, do we also want to add WSL?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah. Wait, I will just edit this one and Windows with what it's called?
WSL.
This. Okay. Yeah, I think this is useful. And then you have other, so you can, like, if you run
Do you
on
think-
something exotic.
Do you think if we said Linux with containers, is that less clear than with Docker?
I think Docker, it's clear to everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's just leave it that way.
And I would do the same for in production.
So I mean, this thing in production, like you can remove WSL. Like I'm guessing some people are running WSL
oh yeah,
production,
I would
but
remove
like,
this part, by the way. Do you plan to change that in the near future? Like, I don't see the value that, like, do you plan to, like, unless you are a team leader or whatever, you don't have any decision making. So
Yeah, and what do we do with that data, I guess, is a good question, right? Like,
let's see if someone answered.
I
I
think
guess
it's
that
an
would be, since that wasn't open-ended, right? Like, we didn't ask, what do you plan to change it to?
No, this is not.
yeah.
Where is it?
It should be in that deck, the one you just.
No.
So what? Just slide down, and I think for PDF file, sometimes GitHub takes some time to give you
Yeah,
the
to
button
load.
like see more or stuff like that. Yeah,
More
more
page.
pages. Yeah,
Nice.
completely hidden stuff.
What package manager do you use? Which blah blah blah.
Operating
Okay.
operating production. Okay, yeah. So we didn't add the question,
No.
or it was
Yeah.
not
So
even.
that's useless.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't. Okay. So I will just wait. Single choice. Probably this can be multiple choice, to be honest. I don't know if
I
I'm
think
used
multiple choice would be good, yeah.
multiple choice. Other should give an input. Single comment. Okay, I think this one I can just comment. Okay, and we can add Docker and not VSL, because I don't think anyone runs in production Node on VSL, but we can add
even.
this.
Is there a lot of people running macOS in production? Like even Apple is not running that anymore, almost.
Yeah.
I think it's still worth thinking, right? Like,
true.
Okay. Oh, good.
Rather than
what architecture?
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Let's finish the discussion before we move forward. There is anything else on the production, or we can move to architecture?
No, I think that's good for me.
Okay. What architecture is the machine you're running Node.js for development? You plan to change that? Don't think. Planning to change. Yeah, I want the newest Mac single choice, because I don't think you have multiple machines for the architecture.
Yep.
And okay, this is. I think this we should leave it as it is.
So can you just go back to the previous survey, like the answer of the survey last year about that? Like, because for example, if there is some stuff that were like below 1%, do we want to remove that?
What architecture is?
Yep.
No, what operating system?
No, yeah, this is this one. Yep.
Oh no, it's good in terms of reply.
Okay, but okay, so I'm seeing that the other is more than a combined AI32 plus PPC plus S something. Do we have the result of what the people answered on this one?
Where we can get that?
It's one of the other two survey, like, yeah. Organization. Version manager. Okay, so we had
okay,
a
VSL.
USL last year. Okay.
So
No,
okay,
this
well,
is
this is wait, this is the
yeah,
operating
operating
system, so it's important. Let's see if IBM Windows VSL. Okay, cloud functions for local development. Cloud
Yeah, I think
functions.
no.
Okay, but VSL it's a big one, so it's important
Yeah,
to.
that's good too. We added it. Yeah.
Okay, what operating system? AWS Lambda,
Yeah.
Docker. You see Docker. So
That's good. Yeah.
um,
Okay, yeah, seems good. But do we have a next?
IBM, Kubernetes, Azure.
Yeah, I don't know if it's interesting to like ask if about cloud providers.
No, I don't think we care if it's like like if it's Kubernetes. What do I care? I know you're running on Docker, and that's it.
But I
Yeah.
guess it's like it could be serverless in a cloud provider. It could be.
But I think that's why we updated. But we updated the question before on API for microservices, serverless, or other. So I guess we will have the answer by that on this one.
Yeah,
What
I guess
operating
these ones were really
system?
just asking architecture, but it's interesting, like because like there is a like you run it locally yourself, or you use a cloud provider, a
Okay.
service cloud provider, serverless cloud provider, Docker type cloud provider, or
Yeah.
I know we don't want to add too much
Okay.
stuff out, so I'm like,
Yeah.
we don't necessarily need to squeeze that in.
Okay,
So
this one,
in terms of what architecture is your is the machine you're running for development, a lot of people. No,
answer.
this is production environment.
No, this was a good question. You had a good. You were on the right result. It's what architecture, and the result is I don't know on the other one.
No, but this is for development, and this is for production.
Oh. Okay.
But we don't have these questions in reality.
True.
We don't have the architecture for production. I think we only have the architecture for production.
Yep.
Okay, then what architecture is the machine? Maybe I copy pasted.
Maybe we had
For
both,
the-
but like I think like the main question was
in production.
yeah, like in production it makes the most sense to me.
Okay, let's rename that. But then, like, how do we capture that all these people are running on like serverless and they don't know like what's the architecture of the machine?
Why don't we just add in a don't know?
Yeah. We can.
Okay.
Technically,
So
for
we are,
serverless, you like if you are the one deploying, you should be aware because it's just a configuration. The
don't
same.
know, like we have serverless.
I think just I don't know. Like don't know. I'm not sure. We want to precise that because I'm guessing
Okay.
if people are not aware on which infrastructure they are running their the serverless, they won't know if the Docker
Let's add
image.
serverless.
I would just say don't know. Like
Yeah.
I think serverless is different from from the architecture, but I think don't know is a valid, like we got a lot of people saying that, right? And like, so let's just make that easy for them to do it versus a write-in.
Because serverless is just x64 or ARM today.
Let's not go into that.
Or
That's
also
not
you can be
true.
running on multiple like if you distribute a Node.js application, then when you run on production, it means like you run on everyone's machine. So you support many
Yeah, you
architectures.
don't necessarily know.
Don't
I mean,
know,
I think if we wanted to ask about like what environments, we would need another question. It's like, do you run in, AWS? with serverless, with whatever, like that might be a bit more than we want to bite
But-
off right now.
Yeah.
Are you sure that, like, depending what you are doing, you may use like projects that rely on specific infrastructure or need to be compiled in a specific way. So
Or like multiple. I will add
like,
multiple
okay.
architectures.
people,
Well, I
I
think-
guess, are aware, or maybe they never check, but I'm getting there. Someone is aware that if it's running in x64 ARM or something else, being Docker images, serverless technology or everything, like you have a specific way to compile to provide the binaries or stuff like that.
X32. Okay.
Yeah, that's 32-bit. That's
let's
worth
see.
asking, actually, because like we're like, can we get rid of Windows 32-bit, which is
Yeah.
but like the multiple architecture, shouldn't we just make that a multi-choice? I can choose.
Oh yeah,
multiple
that makes
architectures rather than-
sense.
yeah,
Should we add X32?
sure.
Wait, is not AI 32 the same as x32?
I no, you're right. IA32 is the same thing. So
All
yeah,
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Your official name, right? And that no one uses.
okay. So yeah,
let's
just that
call
we
it.
don't know sounds good.
Can we rename it to X32 instead of AI? I don't know if AI is more
Yeah.
technically correct than X32, but like if you tell me X32, I would know.
I'd be fine with X32, but let's see.
Yeah,
What
that's okay.
is X32 architecture? Yeah, that comes up as a 32-bit thing. So
Yeah.
Okay, so I can rename it to X32.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. So okay, I think we just make it multiple and we add don't know. Okay. How do you get your Node executables with the Node.js version manager? Using the official installer, using package managers like what? You can install Node with npm. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like it's supposedly published to npm registry. Like some people publish it there, and you can install it that way.
Wow. Using a system package manager, okay, brew, DNF, yum, okay. Downloading binaries directly isn't the same as using the official installer. What's the
No, the official installer, you download the installer and then you run that, and it will install Node for you. Versus, like I just curl the binaries down. Like I take the tar gzip, unzip it, put it in my path, and I'm good to go.
Okay. Then we have build from source and other.
Yeah.
Do we like what's the reply percentage on this? Let's go to the wait. What is this one? Yes. Let's see. What package manager? What is your local development? What is your system? Production environment? How do you get? Okay. Okay, this is good. So I believe we can keep it as it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
what
think I
package
would add
manager?
in the. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I was moving to the next one.
For Jean's question here, I think that should apply to like we could have yarn like yarn 1, yarn 3, right? Or
Yeah. You add yarn 1 and yarn 3.
I don't think there's a yarn 2. Is that there must be a yarn 2, but like
There was a yarn 2 that was deprecated, like I don't know if it was officially deprecated, but let's say yarn 3 replaced yarn 2.
okay.
If you use that seems pretty straightforward. If you use a version manager, which one do you use? Why do we care?
This is interesting in terms of like we're having the whole discussion of what we do with package managers, and if like 99% of people used a particular package manager, version manager, we might say let's just make that the recommended one.
Okay. All right.
You,
Now,
you
it'd be interesting to look to see if there's any others we should add to the list, because I think there were some other ones that were mentioned fairly regularly.
And I think from the list, some of them can be removed. Got only one vote last year.
Let's see. Blah blah blah. What is it? Okay. Knave. Never heard of it, but must
So
be.
maybe that one we take out, and there's a few.
Oh,
we
let's
should
see the
add,
open
like in the
question.
others.
Let's see the open question. So we can add the ones that were open. What is it? Oh, open-ended. Okay. Package manager. We missed npm.
We missed npm in the beginning, so like that's why we added it quickly in, but somehow npm wasn't in the original list. Now, actually, is n. No, for the we better make sure it's in the list this year.
Which version manager
Right, yeah,
do
okay.
you use?
So ASDF was
Yep.
one.
What is ASDF? So should we add it to the list?
Yeah,
Since
Yep.
okay.
like I would add
Hey,
all those ones that were mentioned a bunch of times.
Brio? Docker?
Some of them they may
Okay.
not like actually fit, but FNM was another one that we got a lot of write-ins.
FNM, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. No-damn. And should we add if you use? So we should make this optional.
I might say like let's put a none.
Yep.
Okay.
Like
So,
maybe it's like what version manager do you use, and then none could be the answer, right?
Okay, and then we have to we need to change this one.
Yeah.
And which okay.
Yep. Do we want to
Okay.
remove like nav that wasn't almost not used? Like
Yeah, I'd be okay with removing that one since it wasn't like it was mentioned once. It can fall into the others, right?
Wait, what happened to the comment?
How close are we to the end of the list?
Wait, I need to re-add nodenv. So we had non SDF FNM. What is called?
yeah, FNM.
FNM and
None. I think we put none.
nodenv. Is it a thing?
Like, is it a manager?
What is it?
Okay. NOD, only one E.
Yeah.
Okay, let's add it.
I wasn't even aware of
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess okay,
And
this
think,
should be good.
You should
And we
add
remove
none. Yep.
Huh?
No, I didn't saw the none, but you put it first, so yep, perfect.
Okay. How do you manage the package manager from your project? I use one version install. I use a tool, Pack. Yeah, I use containers.
What did we got from, like, what was
This
the
is the
answer?
Pack. This is the Pack question.
Yeah, I think we should remove this one and replace it by the core pack one.
This is the Pack one. This is how do you manage? Yeah, how do you manage your package managers? And one of the possible answers is Pack.
I see, yeah. Unfortunately, I've got to drop off, but I think the meeting will continue. So I'll let you work through the last few questions and
Yep.
check in on the the document afterwards. It would be good, I think, to like see if we can close this out like in the next week or so.
Yep.
I can, like, as soon as the meeting, I will update the PR and ask for your review, and we can close this.
Sounds good. I'm gonna make Marco, I'm gonna make you the chair for now and or the host, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.
All
Hey,
right.
Michael.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so then we have project priorities and direction. I merged the like. Are you aware of the? Where is it? Oh, this was where is
Yeah,
it?
this is a list of the technical priorities. So, yep.
There was a question. Are you aware of the technical priorities? But I cannot find it. But yeah. Okay. I think this is okay. I received feedback and I updated the list, so this is good to go. What are the technical priorities that you believe are missing? Let's see if that one got some answer. Okay. Yeah. This
What's
looks good.
TypeScript? Same.
Oh, we should add TypeScript here.
No. I was looking at the answer at the same time.
Probably we should add TypeScript here.
No, like this is not TypeScript is not officially a technical priority.
Okay, so those are the technical priorities then.
Yep.
What is important to you? Blah blah blah. Good understanding, ability to affect the direction of the product, consumable API and doc, predictable stable release, innovation, easy installation, easy issue reporting, broad deployment platform support, broad desktop platform support. Probably this should be called to broad development platform support. I would rename.
I don't remember why we split that in two.
I would say develop. I will add a single comment. Okay, I hate it that it refreshed the page. What is this? Oh, we received a comment. Okay, we will go through that later. Then we have broad develop, consistent intuitive error handling, runtime diagnostic tool, development time diagnostic tooling, relevant APIs in core. I think consumable APIs and relevant APIs are not the same. We could probably remove this one, I believe.
This one, I think it was to like it. I think it was added before fetch, or at the same time, the full discussion around fetch and that Node.js should provide relevant API from the browser ecosystem and compliant and with the same stuff.
What's the difference between these and consumable APIs?
So the consumable API will like to provide a API and documentation to cover a lot of stuff, and relevant API in core were like we don't want to have a lot to require a lot of library to do stuff that should be part in core, which was basically including fetch. I'm guessing now we could include a full test runner and a test ecosystem. The capability
But I
to
think the wording is ambiguous, like I could not understand it.
Yep.
So, I don't know, maybe we can rename it into something better. Or
Yep.
we can keep it there.
I don't have a we can rename it, but I don't have a good proposition now. So
Okay, so I will not write everything. We'll just write a comment that
a better name, yeah.
maybe we can better name this. Okay, then we have module dependency info and management, ways to fund their work, ability to assess impact of the chain. I don't know about
I
this
don't
one.
remember why this one. Like this one, I'm keen to remove it.
Yeah, I do totally agree. I don't see the reason. Okay, we can remove it. Okay, good, reasonable resource usage performance. Okay, good security best practice, CPA practice, good CPA management. I think we can mix this one into this one,
Yep.
and we
Yep.
can just like
Even if it's not exactly the same for most of the people.
yeah.
It would be
Wait,
great.
we can just like merge those two and do like no. No, wait. I did the wrong one. I wanted to do this one. We can do this. I think we take the two and we make it more. Okay. Then we have supportive collaborators and environment, which is better collaborators and supportive collaborators and environment in the project, easy contribution workflow, the ability to embed and bundle Node.js runtime, well maintained and secure standard library, assets that show Node.js is a good choice. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I want to change those ones. I think they are okay. We can leave them. They're just a lot.
Yep.
What is important to you that's not in this list? Let's see.
I think we had like people adding like file name, dear name, stuff like that.
A lot of shit. Okay. Okay, then we have, regardless of how your code is written in integer form, when it runs production, does it contain AES module syntax? This is a shit question. Not
Yeah.
shitty, but the way it's very verbose. I think this may not be clear enough for those who transpile around 4ES7. This still really has to be right, blah, blah, blah. In the application you work on,
Like,
what is the result when you evaluate it?
so
No, this is
no, I do agree. Okay.
this is too technical for
This is too technical. Most of the people
this.
don't know. I think even if it's not perfect, asking just basically, are you using require or import in your application is good.
It's too technical and not many people answer. Okay. Is it rude the way I wrote, or is it okay?
Wait, let me check.
A suggestion might be
Yep, might be. Yep. I think like even if it's not perfect, I agree with for ESM. The main issue is 90% of the people don't know what for ESM is. So there will be like, even if it's not perfect, just asking, hey, are you using require or import to load a module would be maybe better to have. But like people that use TypeScript will use import, so by default, so I guess it will change a bit, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. So regardless of how your code is written, its original form, does it contain? Okay, I think it's. For those wishing to use ESM, what have been the pain points? Okay. If you use of I mean, this is probably too technical. If you use or attempted to use types DBS model syntax or ESM dependent, but what are the issues?
If you use a
I,
represent symbol syntax, when the ASM depends on your production code using ASM, what issue have you encountered?
Like this one would be just, did you encounter issue while using import?
yeah, I believe this is a bit
Like,
too technical.
like I guess we can rephrase it saying, have you encountered any issue when migrating or using import?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Um,
just trying to keep it like easy for everyone to answer.
so what would you think the like the
So we can
actual
yeah. Have you encountered issue when migrating or using import?
uh,
Have you? Yeah.
have you encountered issues when
When using or
or
upgrading or moving to the just I don't know, yeah. Maybe moving.
or migrating to
Yeah. To the import
E-
syntax.
ESM syntax, and we
Yeah.
can like
Yep.
this.
Yep. And like you can add a list of example like do we want to put a list of example like build tool? Oh no. Yeah, okay. Issue. Maybe do we want to put a list performance issue, tool not working, need to change
No,
data.
I mean like we can keep this as an open
Yeah.
question and
Okay.
see.
Like for this one, maybe can we have on the
Wait,
same
I fucked
question?
up.
Oh,
Why? Oh, wait, because I need to go.
can we
Okay.
have on this for example on this one, can we have a yes no answer plus an open field for people?
Okay.
That way
We
we
can
have a
have
so we can
yes,
yeah.
no,
And then
if yes, which one?
yep. That way it will be easier to
Okay.
have like some stats and everything.
Okay. Let me do you that JavaScript? Do you think we can simplify it? Okay, are you using the following experimental feature of Node.js, core pack, blah, blah, blah? I don't see any. Watch is no longer experimental in 22. but 22 is not out yet, so it's good. So okay, maybe no. Okay, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think
And
that's a good.
are you using the following new stable features: test runner, or crypto, WebStreams, fetch? Yeah.
Yep.
Do you encounter any issue with using Node.js at Relay? Okay. So yeah, I believe this is good to go. I will apply the suggestions,
So
and
I just
we
added
can keep this.
I just added my last comment. Do we want to add something about the governance?
I actually removed it because it was suggested that like let's see, it was there last year.
I don't remember if it was last year, but we discussed that during the next collaborator summit.
Okay, then I can add it back. Yeah, that's fine.
Like I don't know,
Um,
but maybe something that would be really simple. Like, are you aware about the Node.js governance? Like something really simple for
are
just to
you
see
aware
people.
of the Node.js open governance model?
It would be just to see if people that use Node.js try to follow at least a bit how Node.js evolves, basically.
Okay, can you take care of this one to like phrase it better?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
just
yeah.
not the com?
Yeah, we try to find a good way. Yep.
Okay, so let's get the agenda. So wait, let me add myself.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I understand that myself. So
um,
issue doc.
okay. Lots of feedback. We work with the survey. We can say skip. We can say skip. How do we say skip? Like to next week?
Uh, yeah, you
we
can
can
just
say
put
just skip.
skip skip. This is already, I guess. Yeah, skip. That's good. Yep.
And I think that's it.
Yep.
I think that's
Yeah, I was H. Dawson.
no.
Okay. I was looking for. Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's
I
it's
think we're
good to
good.
go. I
We
will.
can,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I think we can finish that offline and just tag. I don't know who we want to tag, but I guess we need to tag Kylie, maybe Robin,
Yes.
and a TSC, I guess. Or I don't know who we want
Yeah.
to tag.
I will finish the review and like add the comments that we said and tag TSC, tag Kylie, tag I don't
Okay,
know, tag you and
perfect.
everybody else. And okay, I think that's it. And that's
Cool.
also it for today's meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you everyone
So
for following us. And if you want to have feedback on the question we just did with Marco and Michael, please feel free to jump in a pull request also.
all right. See ya. Bye.